Hi, my name's Philip Stott from the Scottish Trade Unionists and Socialist Coalition. I'm here today with Jim McFarlane, and Jim has been selected as the Scottish TUSC candidate for Dundee West in the election in May. Jim, what are the issues facing working class people in Dundee after over a decade of austerity and now the COVID pandemic?
Thanks, Philip. Well, I mean, I think for me, the main issues are about, the whole opposition to austerity, austerity against austerity and real action and not just in words. As you said, we've had at least 10 years of cut every year made to public services. My own local authority has probably made cuts of over £120 million now over that time. That's resulted in probably job losses of around 2,000 jobs. And the other issues, the big issues facing Dundee are the whole issues of poverty, inequality, drugs deaths, underinvestment in all the public services, and child poverty levels in this city of up to a third of children in Dundee living in poverty, which is a scandal in the 21st century. So, for me, I think the main focus has to be on that. It has to be on, real jobs. It has to be on the real Dundee, not just about investment in the waterfront and the V&A, but the other part of Dundee where the real working class people of this city live and work, needing a future for our young people, a sustainable future, with proper environmental policies, democratically run and publicly owned.
Okay, that's good, Jim, because clearly a big element of TUSC manifesto will be there needs to be a recovery for the working class based on socialist policies, as you've explained there. And I think that between that and then the other key plank, I suppose, is the fight for Indy Rev 2. I mean, in terms of the national question, self-determination, what does Scottish TUSC say about what needs to be done to win the right to democracy, basically, or self-determination in Scotland?
Well, again, I think, especially being in Dundee, Dundee was held up as a yes city, returned the biggest vote for independence back in 2014, yet has seen little progress and little change since then. And, I think, of course, we put forward the programme for an independent socialist Scotland, linking up with socialist England, Wales and Ireland. But we also need to recognise the limitations of the SNP leadership and their approach to that. And this idea that somehow Boris Johnson and the Tories will just grant them the permission to hold a referendum, is naive at best. And we think we need to go further than that. We think we need to build a mass movement. Real change only comes about when mass movements, and ordinary working class people move into action. And we think there needs to be the mobilisation of the working class, including in the workplaces through strikes, demonstrations, occupations, civil disobedience, and mass action. That's what can win, an independence referendum and the right to hold an independence referendum, not, constitutional niceties between Westminster and Holyrood.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, got to rely on the power of the working class to deliver that change rather than the UK Supreme Court, for sure. And finally, Jim, I mean, just tell us a bit about, your record as a trade unionist and a socialist in the city. I mean, what have you done? What's your record? And why is Scottish TUSC campaigning for a new Workers' Party for this election as well?
I mean, for me, I've been an active socialist and trade unionist in the city, for a whole number of years. I'm currently the branch secretary of Dundee City Unison. I'm also on the National Executive Council of Unison as one of its Scotland's reps. And I've been involved in a number of campaigns in this city going back years, from issues around the bedroom tax to cuts in the council year upon year, of fighting for jobs, of standing on the picket lines, whether it's with the nursery nurses, the porters at Nine Wells, and any other group of workers who have taken strike action in Dundee. Then I've made sure that I've been there and I've passed on a solidarity, from my trade union branch, as well as offering support and solidarity to workers in struggle wherever they are. And I think, the position that I and others have been able to win in the trade unions in Dundee have a no-cuts policy that all the council trade unions have signed up to and agreed to as a step in the right direction. And for me, as a city that's been now ruled by the SNP for a number of years, and it's clear that the SNP are no alternative to the right-wing leadership of the Labour Party, when push comes to shove, they've all passed on cuts. And I think, why I support TUSC, the Trade Union Socialist Coalition, is because I think it's time we need a new party that represents working class people. We don't think this is a finished product, but we think that trade unionists like myself, socialists like myself, should be getting involved in building a new force to challenge all these parties, electorally as well as in the communities and in the workplaces.
Good, Jim. Thanks very much for your time today. Just a final plug for our viewers that we've got our Scottish TUSC conference on the 20th of February. That's Saturday the 20th, starting at 1 p.m. At the end of this video, you'll see details of how you can join. Jim will be speaking at that conference, as will many other trade unionists and socialists from throughout Scotland. We'll be discussing our manifesto and the areas that we're planning to stand in the elections in May. So all those who want to see a socialist challenge for the May elections, please come along to the TUSC conference on the 20th of February. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.